What's going on, guys? We are here on Mount Whitney, tallest mountain in the contiguous 48 states. This is surprisingly a 3-hour drive from Los Angeles. I was actually really shocked to learn that. It is incredible up here. It looks like the Rockies, in my opinion. And then over this way, we have the Mojave Desert, and on the other side of that mountain range there, that's the White Mountains. On the other side, you have Death Valley, which is one of the hottest, driest places on Earth. It's in the rain shadow of 3 mountain ranges in California, so it barely gets any precipitation. I think this is just such an incredible ecological range of scenery and vegetation and wildlife. Just incredible place. I figured the highest mountain in the contiguous 48 states would be a fitting place to review an incredibly icy and inhospitable record. This is going to be Gryftigæn's Wurmwaldgaistoz. I think that's Old Germanic. I don't know how the pronunciation works. I'm unfortunately not a linguist. I've also noticed the videos I do with sort of unpronounceable band names and album names tend to do worse just in terms of views. That's fine. I guess I just have very pretentious taste in black metal. So this is a Chilean raw black metal project. It is almost unlistenably raw. It is just as raw as it comes. This is basically the 1% of black metal. In terms of production, it is just punishing. I loved 2021's Verhundertauder, another Old Germanic word, I think. I loved that record. That was in my top 10 it was in my top 10 last year. I learned about it last year. I thought it came out in 2022. It turns out it came out late 2021 and got a proper release in 2022. I don't know. These raw black metal bands tend to get really confusing with their releases, re-releases, repressings, all this stuff. But I love this project, and it's been on my radar since at least early 2022. I was actually kind of surprised he released an album this year too. He seems to be very prolific. This record is, like I said, just like incredibly raw. In fact, the album starts like when the guitars come in, you can't even hear the drums. Maybe that's just me, but I literally can't even hear the drums. They're there. I know they're there. I've tuned in, but I found myself thinking, oh, this is like a really long, prolonged introduction section, and it turned out it was just the song. And I find albums like this really rewarding because they force you to engage with them. They demand your complete attention or you don't get anything out of them. There's not really a middle ground. I love this because it's mentally engaging. I have to stay active to really appreciate this record, and boy do I appreciate this record. It almost reminds me of Paysage d'Hiver in a way, where it's got this just trance-like production. It's very clear that the production is thought out, and it's very raw, but it's not bad. It's not lazy. They're doing something with this production. They're using it as a tool for, this mode of expression, and it works fantastically. So I actually find that my ear acclimates to the production on this record as the record drags on, and I start to hear the bass and the drums and the vocals a bit clearer. Like initially, it just sounds like a wall of guitars, but you sort of sink into the record and you start to really pick up on the finer details. And not only does that keep me engaged, but it keeps me, it's sort of gratifying when you do pick up on like, oh, that was a really cool riff. That was a really cool drum flourish. Because it is impressive musicianship, and it's almost a shame to bury musicianship of this caliber in production value of this quality. But it works. It's intentional, and I think it's amazing. It is so icy, just frigid production, very intentional, and it makes sense because despite being in South America, Chile is a very mountainous country with of course you have the Andes, so it's just very in tune with nature. It's one of those countries, I'm pretty sure it's one of those countries where like everywhere you go you can see mountains on the horizon, not unlike California. And it's just clear that like even though I think the project kind of has like an esoteric angle to it. I think it deals with dark Germanic heathenism and stuff like that. I still think there's an element of nature reverence in this project, which is of course what I love about music and tends to be what I like to review. So this is a project I don't see getting a lot of hype. I highly recommend this one. Drop a comment letting me know what you think if you end up checking it out. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good one.